Hi, and welcome to HUMA 1305 Introduction to Mexican American Studies with Northeast Texas Community College. My name is James Weatherford, and I am your instructor for this course. If you ever need to reach me, you can contact me at jweatherford@ntcc.edu, or you can text me on my cell, preferably texting 817-713-4802, or you can call me. You'll probably have to leave a voice message as I may not recognize your number, so I probably won't answer. I wanted to introduce you to this course, navigate through a few things here on Blackboard so that everyone is up to speed on the expectations of the course, how to submit assignments, where to find important information, and the like. So, I guess before we navigate through Blackboard, we could take a look at the syllabus, which you'll access your syllabus using this link on the left. However, I have it pulled up already over in another window, so I'm going to open it there. Excuse me. So, as you'll see in the syllabus, we have the course name, what section it is, the semester, my information, office hours that I have. Those office hours are not really concrete or anything. I can pretty much arrange to meet with you anytime if we need to speak over the phone, via email. You can text me. That's pretty much the limitation of our contact, being that this is an online course. So the description of the course, here we see the interdisciplinary survey. This class is an interdisciplinary survey that examines the different cultural, artistic, economic, historical, political, and social aspects of the Mexican American / Chicano communities. It also covers issues such as dispossession, immigration, transnationalism, and other topics that have shaped the Mexican American experience. So this course is not necessarily for Mexican Americans, it's for anyone. The focus of our study is going to be the Mexican American experience. So the humanities is the study of the human experience, and we can narrow that study in many different ways, and we can study any culture, any ethnicity, any race. And so in this case, we're studying the Mexican American experience. So you may be in this class and you yourself are Mexican American. Some of this information you may know, some of it you may not, because it is going to take a very in-depth historical survey of the origins of what we would later call the Mexican. We deal with the roots coming from Spain and the Spanish colonizing the Mesoamerican part of the world and the indigenous. And, eventually we find a race of people emerging, a nation emerging out of this integration, this joining, this syncretism, even in many ways, between the Spanish and the indigenous people of the Americas. So we will look at that process kind of from the very beginning, and we'll move our way all the way up through history to pretty close to the present day. So that opens the door for a lot of discussion, a lot of information dealing with the mistreatment, the discrimination, the prejudice, the racism, the violence, the civil rights movement. There's a lot of really cool angles that we will be able to capture. We'll be able to look at some of the developments within the Mexican American community, of the voices that spoke out and fought against the oppression and brought about change. Really good stuff. I love this class. It's fun to teach, and every time I teach the class, I learn something more myself. as you can tell, I am not a Chicano. I am very much so a white male. So even as I teach a course like this, and as I learn more and I study this material myself, I'm always learning. I'm learning more, even as I am able to hear the voices of my students who are Mexican Americans and their responses to the discussions we have. It sheds more light on my understanding, as I can only understand to a certain limit, because I'm limited by not being within. I am without. And so in sociology, there's two words that are used, edic and emic. If you are performing research edically, then you are from the outside. And so I approach this study as one who would do it, edically. Emically would be if I was teaching from within a tradition or a culture or something that I was a part of. So all of that is just a bunch of technical language to say I'm, on the outside looking in on this topic, and I appreciate the the patience and the understanding that many of my Mexican American students have as well. So um, just a little bit here, we can see the required textbook is this text by Manuel G. Gonzalez, Mexicanos, A History of Mexicans in the United States, 2nd edition. It's not a very expensive textbook. It's very much so historical, sociological, deals with society, but it also is a very timeline, start to finish history text, and it's written in an academic style. So at times it might be a little bit boring, but don't worry. It is very thorough, very in depth, and written very emically. So to go back to our words, as Manuel G. Gonzalez is writing from an inside perspective. So it's an excellent text. The textbook is in the bookstore. I've also seen this text on EBSCO in ebook form, in the ebook collection. I'm not sure if Northeast Texas Community College has a partnership with that database through the library, but it's possible that they do, and if they do, then you may not have to buy a book at all if you can find it on the EBSCO ebook website. So you can look into that, or you can purchase the text for somewhere $20 to $30. I'm not sure exactly what the bookstore is charging, but it's not very much. So just to hear, if you want to look down at the student learning outcomes, you'll see upon the successful completion of this course, students will differentiate between important concepts and theories pertaining to prejudice and discrimination. Number 2, describe the social constructs of minority/majority status, gender, race, and ethnicity. Number 3, in the student learning outcomes, analyze the developmental history, culture experiences of inequality and current life chances of Mexican Americans in the United States. Number 4, analyze minority group interactions in the United States, focusing on immigration and migration patterns, assimilation processes, and adjustments to American life. Number 5, describe the effects of discrimination and prejudice on the everyday life of minority group members in the context of social institutions. Number 6, describe some of the challenges of living and interacting within a diverse multicultural society. And number 7, be able to analyze relevant concepts and theories through cultural representations, music, art, literature, popular culture, etc. So, as you can see, there's going to be a lot of focus on race, ethnicity, status, these sort of issues that drive, cultural studies, and that means the good, the bad, the ugly, it's all part of the analysis. And unfortunately, there has been a very significant amount of the bad and the ugly. And so this may be sensitive in some areas for some people. Um, and again, though, because it is cultural and it does deal with race and it does deal with ethnicity and minority. Um, you know, this it's expected that everyone be very civil. Um, even giving the current state of politics at this very moment with the current administration and many of the decisions and issues that are on the table being discussed by Congress today, even literally today as I record this. It's a hot topic of discussion, and it is okay to attack ideas. It is okay to criticize, critique, and question the validity, the humanity, and the fairness of legislation and ideas and worldviews and philosophies. That is fine, but we're not going to do any personal attacking against anyone. Any, we're not attacking people. We can look at ideas, we can analyze them, we can bring them into question, we can scrutinize them, we can challenge them, we can agree with them. And if a person holds a different viewpoint from another person, that is expected in this class, and I hope we find some disagreement and then some areas where we can disagree, but ultimately that we can all agree to get along. And I think that's the most important aspect of studying anything that could be um, sensational, I guess would be the word. The core objectives: communication skills, including effective written, oral, and visual communication, critical thinking skills, um, social responsibility, personal responsibility. All of these are objectives that we hope to accomplish in this class. That you will refine those abilities and those skills, those objectives, those abilities. They go far beyond the college classroom. If you are able to communicate, think critically, have a social responsibility, have a personal responsibility, you're going to be a better human being. You're going to be a more thoughtful, more intentional human being. You're going to think before you act, think before you speak. You're going to act with intention. You're going to seek the greater good. You're going to put others before yourself. You're going to be a better person. Um, the world needs more thoughtful people. And hopefully, as you finish this course with an A, I might add, you'll walk away more thoughtful, more in tune, and more understanding, more empathetic, with a greater level of compassion for others. That is my goal with every humanities course that I teach, whether it's Introduction to Humanities, whether it's this course. We are hoping to communicate deeper human values in everyone. That you learn something, it makes you a better person in the long run, and then you go on to pay it forward in some regard, whether it be as teaching someone, as in your personal relationships and encounters, or your career. Many of you are in this class most likely because you're going into the healthcare field and it's required. Well, of course it would be required because the majority, a great majority of people who are seeking healthcare services are going to be Mexican Americans. You can help someone in a more compassionate way if you know who they are and you know where they're from, you know their story, you know their background, you know what they've been through, you know their history, their culture. Um, anyway, so I'll get off my soapbox for that. But that's what we're hoping to accomplish through any study of humanity, is that we ourselves become better humans in our personal lives and in our careers. So in this class there'll be 8 introductory lectures from me to begin each weekly module. And then we will have a discussion for every week. And so this is an 8-week course. We have 8 weeks of study, 8 modules, so to speak. The way you'll be graded is by those discussions that we have each week. 2 exams, a midterm and a final. There will be weekly quizzes for every week, every unit. And then you're going to write a cultural visit essay where you will attend a cultural event that relates to Mexican American studies or Mexican American culture, or maybe even Latin American. We'll go a bit beyond the confines of just purely Mexican American. We look at Latino, Latina cultural events, art. There's guidelines that explain all this, so I won't go into it too much right at this moment, but that is how we will be graded in this class. So the actually this is wrong. This should be 25%. Each one of these categories is 25%, not 20. 2, 4, 6, 8. That equals 80, not 100. But I will correct that before I put this online for you. But each category will be 25% of your grade. So the way you'll be evaluated is A, B, C, D, F. Those, between 90 and 100 is an A, 89, between 80 and 89 is a B, 70, 79 is a C, 60 and 69 is a D. Anything below 59 and below is failing. Course requirements: you have to do the assigned readings, participate in the discussions, view the lectures, the documentaries, the films, the movies, complete weekly quizzes over the class material, take 8 weekly quizzes and 2 exams over class material, write 8 summary papers. That is, oh wait, that's what's missing. Okay, so there actually are 20%. Okay, what's missing is the summary response papers that you're going to write. So if we imagine there is another line just below here that says summary response papers 20%. That is the missing 20% that will give us 100%. So yeah, so I made a mistake. It's happened before. I am human. I think I made a mistake one other time in my life. I'm just kidding. I make mistakes every day. So that's what's missing, is that category. It's 20% summary response papers, and I'll show you the guidelines on that here in a second. So that will give us 100%. You'll write 8 summary papers. I'll show you the guidelines in a second. Number 6 here, course requirements: attend 1 cultural visit related to the course and write a response paper, and the guidelines are below. So 2 exams, that's a midterm and a final. A little more information here about being honest, not breaking the rules concerning plagiarism, using other people's information as your own without documenting it. It's a serious offense in college, so don't do that. Down here we see the course plan broken up according to each week. So the first day of the class, you're going to complete the Start Here folder, which has, I'll show it to you on Blackboard in a moment, but it has this video, a lot of important information, first discussion, your syllabus is going to be found there as well, an honesty and integrity quiz, and then information about the biosignature validation that we use on Blackboard to verify who you are, and make sure that you're really you doing this class. Yeah, so as you see here, every week we have readings, what we will view in the class, and then the assessments will be in this complete folder on this complete column here on the right. So you'll have a quiz, a discussion, and you'll write your first summary response at the end of the first week. Some of the films that we'll look at in here: Apocalypto, La Otra Conquista. We're going to look at some documentary films that are pretty good. Um, yeah, so there's also, we're going to use this information found on the PBS website. They did a excellent documentary series on Latin Americans and Mexican Americans, and so we'll kind of select many of their uh, films and we'll documentaries, and we watch them in here. So yeah, so everything you need to know about what we're going to do week by week is found here in the course plan, but it's also found on each week, each week's module folder on Blackboard. Okay, so that's your course plan. Look through there, understand it, brace for it. Um, Basically, the rules are, you know, at the beginning of each week, 12 a.m. Monday morning, just as the clock strikes midnight Sunday night, the week begins, and it runs all the way to the end of Sunday night the following Sunday at midnight, as it strikes Monday morning at midnight. But every week that is true, except for week 8, because the class ends on a Thursday. It doesn't run until Sunday. So remember that. I'll try to send out an announcement that says something to that effect so that you will be prepared for it, but you don't have the full week as you usually do in that case. So just remember that. And here's the explanation and the assigned response papers. So I'll give you a choice of what to respond to each week. You can write either one, write a paper on the article or the film that we watched that week. So this is, okay, let me read it to you. Every week you will write a summary response essay consisting of 2 well-developed paragraphs in a Word document. You will submit the file on Blackboard no later than 8 a.m. Monday each week, except for number 8, which is what I was talking about a moment ago, which is due on the last day of class, which is going to be a Thursday, the 9th of March, I think, off the top of my head. In this academic writing, you will write 1 summary paragraph and 1 response paragraph in response to some of the articles, websites, audio, film, documentaries that we cover in class each week. So this is very simple. Okay, where students go wrong is when they write more than 2 paragraphs. This is just solely 2 paragraphs, an introduction or a summary paragraph, and then a response paragraph. So if you write 3 paragraphs, you're going to get a 0. If you write 1 paragraph, you're going to get a 0. I'm looking for exactly 2 paragraphs. Your choice each week between the materials we have in the class of what you can respond to, and then following these guidelines. 10 to 12 sentences in each paragraph. Must have a topic sentence. Tell us who you're writing about. Explain everything. State the main supporting points. Quote from the text is necessary in that paragraph. And then, in the response paragraph, you're going to respond. How did you feel? What was your thoughts? Where did it take your mind? What did you, how did you respond? Do you have any criticisms? Just kind of whatever you really want to say there. But it has to be a thoughtful response to the material. So if you don't read it and you try to write a response paragraph, it'll be obvious because you can't respond to something you don't watch and you don't read. You can try, but it'll be obvious to me. So read the articles thoroughly that you're going to respond to. Read everything that you're assigned. I mean, that's just normal college expectation, of course. Watch the films that you're given, but do thoroughly pay attention to the ones in a very deep intellectual way if you plan on writing about them. So the rubric shows 2 paragraphs only, 50 points. That's right off the top. You know, clarity of thought, 25 points, spelling and grammar. So this is 25, 20%. Well, this would be 20% of your grade. So I should fix that. But um, so let's see, cultural visit. Now this aligns with the social responsibility core objective to include the demonstrated intercultural knowledge and competence, knowledge of civic responsibility, and the ability to engage effectively in regional, national, and global communities. It also aligns with learning outcome number 6, describes some of the challenges of living and interacting within a diverse multicultural society. So the purpose of this assignment is to lead the student toward critical thought and evaluation of movements in Mexican American, Latina, Chicano, Chicana arts and humanities. The student will choose to visit a presentation in the fine arts or performing arts, a Spanish speaking religious service, not of the student's own tradition. If you want to go to a religious service, you know, if you if you're a Protestant, go to a Catholic Spanish speaking mass or something. If you are Catholic, go to a Protestant, you know, Spanish speaking Pentecostal church or something. I mean, there's lots of opportunities out there. Don't go to something that you always go to that you're comfortable with, that's normal for you. Um, there's also some Spanish speaking Jewish assemblies around Texas and different various places. You have to find them, but given some ideas of some places to go um, here at the bottom of these guidelines. But you can also attend a cultural center, a museum, anything in the fine arts, performing arts, music, painting, sculpting, dance, theater, and film, any presentation, any exhibits. Um, there's a lot of opportunities. There are some suggested cultural places to visit in North Texas. You must verify the events that they're open, before you try to go. I've had students go to things before and they say it's closed. I'm like, well, you should have checked into that before you got in the car and drove there. I mean, I just say. So there's some places here I've listed. Check them out, Google them, look them up on your own. Yeah, so let's see here. I'm giving you an outline of what I'm looking for, pretty straightforward. You'll choose your destination. You're going to tell me online where you're going to go about midterm before you actually go, so that if there's any discrepancy, any issue, any questions, we can address them then before you go. And then you're going to literally write, again, kind of a summary of the events and your reaction, a lot like what you have done with your other writings you'll do in this class. And then you'll also submit your ticket stub, program, brochure, pamphlet, pictures of yourself at the event that actually prove you were there. Those will count as 25 points of the 100. So you could only get 75% of the grade if you don't prove you went. So somehow verify that you actually attended. Yeah. So. And if at any point you have questions about this, anything you've seen in the syllabus, you are more than welcome to ask me. So let me take you here to Blackboard, show you a few things, and then we're going to wrap this up. So when you log into the class, you come to this page, and you'll see the header here, information of how to contact me, my mug there in that picture. That's what I look like. You'll see more of me in the introductory videos for each week as well. Do watch those because they're important as they kind of explain what you're doing each week. And then I've laid out, each week, and it has these are folder links. So as you see, week 1, it says what you'll read, what you'll view, what you'll complete. When you click on that, actually we're going to do it in student view, because that way, if I do that, it's exactly what you'll see. So let's change student view. Okay, so now student view. When you first log in, come to this Start Here folder, very first day, and you'll find an explanation of what you're supposed to do. You'll move through the pages in the module. This video right here that you see is actually going to be replaced with the video you're watching now. So that's kind of a mind trip, but that is not the video you will see on that page. This is the video that we're recording right now that's going to be there, because that was an older video. But that is a picture of what your textbook looks like. So as you move through the pages here, information about the textbook again, and then you'll have your syllabus here. You click there, it'll open up a new window, or same window, but it'll actually open it. And so your syllabus that we're looking at, we just looked at, you'll find there, but you'll also find it over here on the left menu. My computer is going really slow because I'm recording the screen at the same time, and slows down the processor. Yeah, so I guess to get back out of this, we have to go back. Seems kind of weird, but that's Blackboard for you. And then anytime you're in a module, you just kind of click through here. Now, if you click this to launch, it's going to open a quiz you have to take. Learning outcomes are also on this next page. Anyway, so go through this Start Here folder, click your way through every panel. When you get to the very end, you'll see a discussion for number one, that you'll do why Mexican American Studies matter, and be sure to complete that as well. So I'm not going to click through everything, there's no need to, but that shows you basically what you need to know to get started first day. So do all of that on day one, and then on day two, you will go on to week one. These links over here on the left, you will find announcements. I will send you various announcements. Right now, there's a bunch of announcements here, but anyway, they won't be there when you go to look, because these are going to be sent to you kind of systematically, and then I'll also contact you anytime I have something I need to tell the class. I will post it in the announcements, but you will also receive regular announcements letting you know what's going on in the class, where you should be, what's coming up, and then your syllabus link again, announcements. I think that's everything. And then just again, when you click through a module for the week, those dates are listed right there as well. So the first week of class is January 16th through January 21st. You come to the module, watch the introduction, cycle through the pages. You'll be instructed, what to read. It's textbook reading. Go read the introduction, read chapter 1, then any films that we're watching, you click to launch those films, articles that we're reading, discussions, quizzes, everything you need to know right here in each module for the week. Then when it comes time to submit your cultural visit, you'll come here to this link on the bottom. It says cultural visit location. This is the information we talked about in the same thing you have in the syllabus. This is where you will also submit the paper. 75 points. And then quizzes and exams. The first quiz you take on the Start Here folder, and then you'll take another quiz this first week call, for quiz week 1, midterm, final. Everything is right there for quizzes and exams, but you'll also find links to those quizzes and exams in the module holders for the week. And then all the discussions you'll also find here on the discussion board, but there will also be links to each discussion as it is assigned. So don't just run ahead and do all the discussions. They're here, but I don't want you to do them unless it's the week they're assigned. And when it comes to doing your discussion board exercises, you have to make your initial post about 200, 250 words of your own words, your thoughts, your reaction to the prompt, and then you respond to 2 other students, and that is required. So if you don't respond to 2 other students, you don't get full credit for the assignment. So 3 posts total for every discussion board assignment. Your initial post, and then 2 responses, 1 to each of your classmates. To choose 2 classmates, respond to them. At least you can respond to as many as you want, but you have to respond to at least 2 of them. And when you respond, don't just say, yeah, I agree. Like, actually give a thoughtful response, offer some criticism, some disagreement, some agreement, and why, and go into some depth and engage them like you were sitting in a coffee shop, drinking a cup of coffee, talking about this subject matter. Like you would really talk to a person. So that's pretty much all that I have to say for this introductory video. Hopefully it covers all of your questions, but if it doesn't, and you still have questions you would like to ask me, feel free to contact me either by email or on my cell phone. You can text me, 817-713-4802. Don't text me about grades or anything that is considered protected information about you that is private, because someone could be pretending to be you. Now, if you ask me to clarify something on my end that I can clarify that doesn't involve anything personal about you, go ahead and text me. But if it has to do with your grades or anything about, your attendance or, what, no, I need to have that documented from your campus email to my campus email. Let's keep it, organized and documented so that we can be above reproach. And it protects you and it protects me in case somebody is trying to get information about you who is not you. It happens. So that's why there are rules in place to protect both sides. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. I am not out of reach. I will try to make this not seem so distant, but if you have questions, just let me know.